Welcome to Omi-Studio. Here, you will learn in detail about ONBASE. This course equips professionals with the skills to manage documents and automate workflows using the ONBASE ECM platform. Sections and panels are the structural foundation to our forms. Sections can group like items together, while panels can organize their elements in a visually pleasing way. I'm going to add a section to the top of our form. I can drag and drop the item into our form, holding down the left mouse button, or I can double-click and it will add it to the bottom of the form. Something to point out here, whenever you drag and drop a new item in your form, a lot of folks focus on where the mouse icon is. You should focus on where this gold highlighted bar is. That is where your element will be dropped. Notice as I move my mouse up and down, you can see where the gold bar will drop this section. Right now, it's going to appear below name 1. Now it's going to be appearing below name 2. I'm going to drop the section right above name 1. Whenever you add a new element to your form, you should always create a useful label for your end user, but also create a unique identifier in your ID field. ID field will be used later in things like custom actions. You want to use a good naming convention so you can identify what this form element is. And I call this a happy couple. Now with sections, I can add controls within the section. I'm going to add name 1 and name 2 within the section. So I'm just going to grab the item with the left mouse and drag it and drop into that section. So I see that gold bar. And now I've added name 2 below name 1. This looks a little bit better, but what if I like these side by side? Notice if I try to drag and drop it to the right, it just goes back to the bottom. I need to use a new element here to be able to organize my fields left to right. This is where we're going to introduce our panel. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the panel and drag it into my section. Now the panel is invisible, but I can tell from the dashed line border that it's in the section. Now the panels are really invisible and you work behind the scenes. I'm not too concerned about creating a useful ID for my panel. But something I do want to point out here is our column property. Let's go ahead and click this pencil icon. This is where we can set up the number of columns from left to right. I can do up to 10 columns. I'm going to go ahead and select 2 columns here. Right now it's set to an even width, but I could adjust these columns to have different widths. I'm okay with leaving these percentages for now. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So now I can actually put my controls side by side. I'll put name 1 on the left here, and then I'm going to add name 2 to the right. Now I have controls within a panel within a section. I can also add panels outside of sections. I'm going to add one right below my Happy Tuple section. Just be careful to make sure when you're in and out of a section, you should see a light border around the section. For this panel, I'm going to add 3 columns. And okay with the column widths, I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And I'm going to add my event date and phone number to this new panel. And now they're in my panel. So let's go ahead and test out the form as it is. So I'm going to click my Test Drag button. I'm going to enter some data. Notice with date fields, you can either type the date or you can select a date from the date picker. With phone number, notice it's already formatted. This is because we applied a mask on the keyword type in ONBASE configuration. Notice receptions, you can collapse and expand them on your forms. When I click Submit, I can see the values that are going to be tied to my keyword types. Next, we'll take a look at ways that we can add non-keyword values to our forms and also validate the data within the fields.